Good morning, students. Kamusta kayo? Okay, mag-start na tayo. So, ngayon second quarter na tayo. Bali, ang coverage ng second quarter natin ay yung chapter 4, 5, and 6. Tapos, kung meron pa tayong time for chapter 7, then i-discuss natin to. Pero yung chapter 7 kasi parang ano na rin yun yung na-discuss ko during the Wednesday webinar. So, baka siguro review lang yung gagawin ko for the chapter 7. So, chapter 5 na tayo ngayon. Ayun. Na-view nyo na ba yung chapter 4 na sinend ko? Ayun, may mga assignment na rin ako na sinend. Okay. Okay, so ngayon, chapter 5 na tayo. And for the chapter 5, basic long-term financial concepts. So, ngayon, i-discuss natin yung mga simple interest, compound interest, yan yung mga future value, present value, and again, magko-compute ulit tayo. Ngayon. So, kasi syempre yung short term, yan, more on theoretical lang tayo or more on theories. Ayun. So, again, pag sinabi natin short term, ito yung mga finances na kayang bayaran for a year or good for 1 year. While yung long term, syempre, beyond 1 year na to. So, nagkakaroon ng interest. Ayan. So, madali lang naman yung chapter 4 kasi diniscuss lang naman natin yung mga types of banks which is na-discuss natin during our first chapter or second chapters. Diba? Ayan, yung mga types of banks, yung mga process of application ng loans, yung mga types of finances such as yung mga insurances, ganyan, yung mga non-insurances, ganyan. Tapos sa mga types din ng banks na kung saan tayo pwedeng humiram ng pera. Ayun, also diniscuss natin yung mga credit analyst, ayan. So ngayon, nasa long-term finances naman tayo. So dito magko-compute tayo ng mga compound interest, simple interest. Ayan, so better na meron kayong pen and paper. And
opening the light and
okay, wait lang.
hey, Ate Dang will open the ay.
Ayun, so before we start our discussion, 'di ba na-discuss ko yung sa grades nyo. So yun, unting ano na lang naman na, unting kembot na lang. Tapos si Lima ata tsaka si Pineda, ayun, kailangan nilang magpasa na ng assignment tsaka ng quiz na hindi pa nila nagagawa. So please paki-remind. Pero yun lang naman, after nun, siguro pag napasa na nila yun, pasado na, ayun. Yun lang naman yung naka-affect kasi merong di mga na-submit na assignment tsaka na quizzes.
Ano dito ako sa kamay. Okay, any questions sa grades? Okay, so yung final grade nyo, i-complete ko na by this weekend. So baka sa Monday yun, pwede ko nang kung gusto nyong malaman yung grades nyo, tapos gusto nyo pag improve yung mga assignments din, ayun, pwede natin i-discuss. Okay na ba yung yung audio? Naririnig na ba or mahina pa din? Okay, thank you. Okay, so our objectives for the day. So at the end of this chapter, we should be able to calculate future value and present value of the money. Ayan, so please be mindful with the present value tsaka yung future value. And then compute for the effective annual interest rate. So yun, pag naglo-loan ka naman sa mga bangko, familiar ka na kung paano mag-compute ng mga annual interest. And then prepare loan amortization tables. Ewan ko, siguro parang during ata ng high school nyo, lalo na sa math, pag nagko-compute na kayo ng mga interest, siguro na-encounter nyo na to. Ayan, yung paggawa ng mga amortization table. And then apply mathematical concept and tools in computing for finance and investment problems. So more on percentage tayo, interest, yan, mga decimals, ganun. Yun lang naman yung mga formula na gagamitin natin. And then, explain the risk-return trade-offs. So first, when we say time value of money, investment and financing problems faced by individuals and companies usually extend to a long period of time, beyond a year. And to properly evaluate these decisions, the time value of money is considered in this chapter. And we should determine the present and the future values and apply them in the basic transactions such as loans, deposits, yan, and then investment projects. So for this subject, basic lang muna tayo. Yan. And then understanding this basic finance concept allows an individual to choose the appropriate course of action to take in order to maximize value for himself or to the owners of the business. So, bakit nga ba natin pinag-aaralan to? Syempre, for the financial decision making. So, dito natin malalaman na kung saan tayong form ng investment mag-i-invest. Yan. Kasi kukumpute natin yung mga interest, yung mga fees, ganyan. So for the concept of interest, yan, so the most basic finance-related formula, ayan, so interest is earned and incurred for the use of principal amount over the relevant period of time. So meron tayong formula dito, yung I is equal to P times R times T. So when we say I, interest yan. So, kinocompute natin yung interest. So, paano nga ba natin makocompute yung interest? So, principal multiplied by the interest rate or yung annual interest. And then yung time period, kung ilang taon ba siya bababayaran or ilang taon yung term niya. Okay, so ngayon, for example, an individual borrowed 1,000 pesos from a local bank with an interest of 9% over a 1-year period. So, we have the 1,000 pesos yung loan, tapos meron tayong 9% na interest or tinatawag natin annual interest. And then, yung time period niya, 1 year. Okay, so magkano kaya yung interest niya? Compute niyo lang, tapos lang yan, pwede kayong mag-mute or type niyo lang sa chat box. So, ang formula natin is interest multiplied by the, interest is equal to principal multiplied by the rate and multiplied by time period. So, 9% ng 1,000. Yan. So, meron tayong 2 types of interest, 'di ba? 'Di ba kanina dito wala naman sinabing kung compounded siya or simple interest. So we have 2 types of interest. Ayan. So if the interest earned and incurred is always based on the original principal, then simple interest is assumed. Show Ayan. So ito. So for example, ito, you invested 10,000 for 3 years. Ayan, so meron tayong inutang na 10,000 na kaya babayaran natin within 3 years and 9% yung interest rate. And the proceeds from the investment will be collected at the end of 3 years. So yung proceeds daw nito, makokollect after 3 years. Siguro ito yung mga tinatawag na interest, ganyan. So using simple interest assumption, interest will be computed as follows. So, di ba, we have two types of interest, yung compounded tsaka yung simple interest. So, ito, yan, gagawa din kayo ng mga ganito, yung mga table. So, pag sinabi natin simple interest, yung pagbabasihan lang natin ng computation natin, lagi, yung original principal. Yan. So, kung yung principal natin for the first year is 10,000, sa second year, 10,000 pa din naman siya. And then the third year, 10,000 pa din siya. So, same rate, 9% pa din siya. Yan, for the first year. Then, second year, 10,000 pa din. And then, for the third year, 10,000 pa din. Ay, 9,000 pa din yan. So, walang magbabago. Pag sinabi natin is simple interest, so walang magbabago sa computation natin or sa mga values natin. Yan. Okay, so yung interest, then na-compute na natin 9%, diba? Tapos, ano lang naman siya, every year, or annual. Ayan. So, yung interest is equal to P times R times T. So, 900 yung interest niya for the first year. Since hindi naman nagbago yung principal natin for the second year, same pa din. Yung interest na 900 pa din. And then, same with the third year. 900 pa din naman siya. Okay, so yung cumulative interest natin, ayan, kung mapapansin nyo, 900 siya nung the first year. And then, the second year, naging 1,800 na siya. Siyempre, 900 plus 900, 1,800. And then, plus 900 again, 2,700. So, all in all, ang makukuhang interest ni bangko for the next 3 years ay 2,700. Ayan. So, ito na yung magiging value ng babayaran mo for the third year. So, sa una, yung first year, since 900 lang naman yung interest mo, 10,900. And then, sa second year, 11,800. And then, third year, ayan, since 3 taon na yung interest, 12,700. So, ayan yung tinatawag natin simple interest. May question kayo? Madali lang naman siya. Yan, basta, sundan nyo lang tong table na to pag nagko-compute kayo. Okay, so, aside from the simple interest, meron tayong compounded or compound interest. Yan. The usual assumption in most business transactions. So, madalas ito talaga yung ginagamit ng mga bangko. Compounded interest. Kaya kahit sabihin mong maliit lang yung interest mo sa bangko, pag yan compounded, talagang lumalaki yung babayaran mong interest. Ayan. So, when we say compounded, yung interest mo, nagkaka-interest pa. Yan, so patong-patong na interest. Okay. So again, gamitin natin yung first example. So pag may question kayo, mag-unmute lang ha. Baka medyo malabo pa yung discussion. Okay? So pag sabi natin compounded, yung interest natin nagkaka-interest pa. So yung yung magiging principal natin, may kasama ng cumulative interest. Hindi kagaya ng simple interest kung ano yung original na principal natin hanggang third year or succeeding year, yun pa din yung principal na gagamitin natin. While this here in the compounded interest or yung compound interest, yung principal natin may kasama na siyang cumulative interest. So using the previous example where you invested 10,000 for 3 years at 9% and the proceeds from the investment will be all collected at the end of 3 years, we should illustrate the computation of the compound interest as follows. So, using a compound interest assumption, interest will be computed. Yan. Such as the below. So, yon sa first year natin, di ba, ang original principal value natin ay yung 10,000. And then, yung rate natin, same pa din, 9%. And then, so, since every year naman na tayo nagko-compute ng interest, so, yung time natin is 1. Ayan. So, maaaring magbabago pa yan. Kunyari, quarter or semi-annual. So, kukumpitin nyo lang din yun. So, magbabago yung kaya pag semi-annual, magiging 0.5 or 1/2. And then, pag mga quarter naman, 1/4 or 0.25. Okay, so, again, pag 1 year, ang equivalent niyan sa time natin ay 1. And then, for the interest, then kukumpitin na natin 10,000 times 9% times yung time period is 900 pesos yung interest natin. So, yung cumulative interest natin for the first year is 900 pesos. Okay? So, ang total natin for the first year, so principal plus the cumulative interest is 10,900. Okay? So, yon. Nakuha na natin yung principal natin for the second year, yung 10,900. So, ngayon, yung second natin, for the second year, yung principal natin, may kasama ng cumulative interest. So, naging 10,900. And then, so forth, kukumpitin natin. So, 10,900 multiplied by 9% again. And then, yung time period, which is annual, so 1 year. So, ang interest natin, hindi na 900 kasi nagkaroon na ng cumulative interest eh. Kumbaga, yung interest natin magkaka-interest pa. So, naging 981 yung interest natin for the second year. So, yung cumulative interest natin for the second year, syempre 900 plus yung 981 is equal to 1,881 na. Ayan. So, yung total natin for the second year, syempre principal for the second year plus yung cumulative interest natin. So, yung 10,900 plus 1,881 is equal to 11,000. Yan, is equal to 11,881. Okay? So, yun, kukumpitin lang natin. For example, yan, 10,000 plus yung 900. And then, yung another cumulative natin, 1,881. Yan. So, magiging ganito yung, ano niya.
Ano?
Yan, 10,000 pala. 10,000 plus 1,881. So, 11,881. Okay, so ito na rin yung magiging principal value natin sa third year. So, yun. Ano lang, sundan nyo lang tong table na to para makompute nyo siya. May question ba? Okay, so, ang next naman natin i-discuss yung future value of money. Ayan, syempre, hindi lang naman yung mga equipment at machine yung nade-depreciate as well as yung money nade-depreciate din siya or pwede din siyang ma-appreciate depende din sa status ng ekonomiya natin. Pero normally, ang pera or yung money nade-depreciate yan. So, yung pera mo ngayon ay hindi na siya kasing laki or yung halaga niya hindi na kasing laki ng ng value niya kinabukasan. So, kaya nga dapat pag nagpapautang tayo, may interest. Kasi yung 1,000 mo today, hindi na siya ganun kalaki or di na ganun yung value niya kinabukasan. So, kaya dapat, yun nga, pag nagpapautang tayo, may interest lagi. Kahit maliit lang. At least mabawi mo yung value ng pera mo. Yan. So, in the previous example, the value of the investment at the end of the year 1 is equal to 10,900. Yan, computed as follows. So, yung 10,000 plus yung interest natin na 10,000 multiplied by 9% and then 1 year. Yan. So, in short, yung 10,000 natin, which is the principal value plus yung interest na kinumpute natin. Kaya siya naging 10,900. Yan. So, for the first year, ang value, ang future, parang yung equivalent na future value natin or yung value of money natin is 10,900. Then the second year naman, yung future value of money naman natin, yung 11,881. Nasa table naman siya. And then sa third year, ayan, yung future value of money naman natin, yung 12,950.29. So, lagi tayong dalawang decimal lagi pag nagko-compute. Yan. So, pag nagko-compute tayo ng future value, yan, yung future value is equal to initial value multiplied by 1 plus yung rate, tapos yung time period. Okay? So, ito yon yung FV is equal to IV multiplied by 1 plus yung R raised by T or yung time period. Ito yung ano niya, ito yung pinaka-shortcut niya. Pero pwede nyo rin gawin yung table. Yan, yung table para mas maintindihan nyo. Pero pag nagmamadali kayo, ito na lang yung gawin yung computation. Yan siya. Yung future value na tinutukoy dito, ito yun. Yung nasa dulo, yung total. Okay, when we say R, ito yung interest rate. Yan, actually may table din siya para mas madaling ma-compute. Yan, may table din tayong ginagamit. Pero hindi ko naman siya nire-require. Mas better pa din na gumamit kayo ng table, yung sarili niyong table. So, sundin nyo lang to. So, for the third year, ayan, yung interest rate 9% pa din. So, ang nangyari, ang magiging future value natin is equal to 1 plus 9% yung 3 para makompute natin yung interest or yung, ano natin, yung with decimal na i-multiply natin sa principal value. So 1.29 to 2950. So round off by 4 decimals places lagi tayo pag nagko-compute ng interest ito. Yan. So ganito lang naman din siya. Yan yung 10,000 plus 1 multiplied by 1 plus yung rate raised by 3, which is yung sinabi natin na yung time period natin ay 3 years. Ayun, so I suggest na aside from the formula, gawa na lang din kayo ng table para mas ma-gets nyo yung pinanggagalingan. Okay. So, ayun yung future value of money. So, we have the present value of money. So, determine cash flows, future value at a common future date, or compute their present value today. Decision makers choose to get the present value since the decision are made today. Yeah, normally, ang mga investors or yung mga shareholders, ang ginagamit nila yung present value of money. Ayan. Kasi para malaman nila kung ano yung value ng i-invest nila today. While yung mga banks naman, normally, ang kinocompute nila lagi yung future value. Kasi advance silang mag-isip dahil dapat at that time, pag nabayaran yung mga utang ng utang sa kanila, mababawi din nila yung totoong value ng pera. To get the present value of a lump sum amount, yan, future value is equal to initial value again, multiplied by 1 plus yung rate raised by the time period. So, yung present value naman, ito yung ano niya, yung formula niya. Future value, ayan, So for example, kanina nag-get, 'di ba, yung 12,000 something. Yan, ayun naman yung nasa given natin. Ayun kasi yung future value. Ngayon, kukunin naman natin yung present value nun. Okay? So yan, parang kabaliktaran naman siya. So yung present value is equal to future value. Yan, over yung 1 plus yung rate multiplied, raised by time period or yung 3. So kumbaga, kunyari ang given naman natin ay yung future value. Yan, for example, itong 12,950.29. Kukunin naman natin kung ano yung dapat nang i-invest. Kumbaga, pag kinompute natin yung present value, ang dapat natin makuha yung 10,000. Ayan, ito yung tinatawag na present value. Okay, nagagets nyo ba? Chat lang kayo kasi may computation to. Okay, so for the present value of money, yan, for example, your father told you that he will entrust you with the funds for your graduate program education. He gave you 2 options: receive the money now in the amount of 200,000 or receive 500,000 10 years from now. So the available investment opportunities to you provide a 10% interest rate of return. So which option would you prefer? So yon, papakomputin ka naman ngayon ng pagkuha ng future value and then the present value. So yung first option natin, receive the money now in the amount of 200,000. Tapos meron tayong interest rate na 10%. Tapos kumbaga after 10 years naman siya. So, aalamin natin kung ano yung value ng 200,000 after 10 years, considering na meron tayong 10% rate of return. Okay, so, syempre, compounded to. Compounded to, no? Ayan. Or else, pwede rin naman natin computein yung present value din ng 500,000. So, parang mag-work back tayo. Pwedeng ganun. Vice versa. Kung ano yung magiging decision natin. Okay? So, kung compute natin yung present value naman ng 500,000. Yan. Kasi sabi ng papa mo, ay ng father mo, bibigyan ka niya ng 500,000. Yan. For the next 10 years. Okay? So, ngayon naman, ang gusto niyang computation, yung pagkuha ng present value ng 500,000. So, choosing the second method will require you to get the present value of 500,000 as shown as below. So, yung present value, yan, kukunin natin yung present value ng 500,000. So, yung future value niya daw after 10 years ay 500,000 over yung 1 plus yung interest rate, which is yung 10%. Tapos 10 years, di ba? So, raised by 10. So, ang nakuha natin ay yung present value na 192,771. So, yun. Mas malaki kung makakatanggap ka ng 200,000 ngayon, di ba? Yan. Kaya ang option na pipiliin natin, yung 1. Mas better na ma-receive mo yung 200,000 ngayon kaysa maka-receive ka ng 500,000 for the next 10 years. Okay, nagigets nyo ba? Okay. Paano kung yung naman, yung kunyari yung future, kunyari hindi natin alam kung ano yung present value ng 500,000. Yung future value naman yung ng 200,000 yung kukumpute natin. So, ano yung formula nun? Compute natin. Meron tayong 200,000. Meron tayong 200,000, may 10% tayo. Tapos meron tayong time period na 10. Check natin kung mas malaki sa 500,000. So ito yung formula natin.
Okay na yan. Parang hindi na halata.
Nakabit niyo ba? Ito yung future value natin. Nandyan ba kayo? Okay, so we have 1 plus yung rate natin, which is yung 10%. Multiplied natin by 10, and raised by 10. So we have yung decimals natin. So multiplied by yung initial value natin, which is yung 200,000. So yon, yung future value naman natin, nandiyan ba kayo? Yan. So after 10 years, yung value ng 200,000 natin is 518,748. Ayan. So mas malaki pala talaga kung makaka-receive tayo ngayon ng 200,000 instead of maka-receive tayo ng 500,000 after 10 years. Ayan, so kinompute din niya. So, pag future value naman yung kinuha, we have the 200,000 multiplied by 1 plus 10% raised by 10. So, we have the 518,748.50. So we have another example for the present value of money. Your school's annual tuition fee is 100,000 per year. If you pay at the start of the school year, another option is to pay for the tuition fee at the end, but at the higher amount of 110,000. Okay, let us say that prevailing interest is equal to 12%. To make the cash flow comparable, we compute the present value of 110. So since 1 year lang naman yung difference or 1 year lang naman yung time period natin, so magiging formula natin, kukumpute natin yung present value, di ba? And we have the future value, which is yung 110,000 over 1 plus yung rate and then yung time period natin, which is 1. Okay, so we have 110,000 na future value natin over yung 1 plus yung rate raised by the time period. So 110 over 1 plus yung 8% and then 1. And then so ang present value na nakuha natin, kunyari magbabayad tayo ng 110,000 at the end of the SEM instead of 100,000 at the start of the SEM. Yan. So, ang present value daw nun ay 101. So, lugi. Mas better na magbayad ka daw ng 100,000 at the start of the school year. Instead na magbayad ka ng 100,000 at the end of the SEM or at the end of the year. Okay, parang lugi ka ng 1,859.90. May questions ba?
Wala naman po, ma'am.
Nagigets nyo naman. Madali lang naman siya, di ba?
Yes po.
Okay, kasi may groupings kayo pero baka next year na yung deadline. Puro groupings tayo. Okay, multiple cash flows. To a certain extent, all our examples contemplate a single lump sum cash flow at the end of the term. So if multiple cash flows occur of different times, the most difficult it becomes to compare these cash flow streams. So getting their present values become more imperative in order to make an appropriate decision. Simply get the present value of the individual cash flows and add them together. Since the present value refer to the same date, these value are additive. Okay, so siguro next year na lang to. Chapter 5 na lang naman tayo, tsaka chapter 6. Yan. So, yun yung for this year, ang mga dapat nyo lang naman alalahanin ay yung mga, syempre yung chapter 4, which is yung short-term finances, and then yung long-term natin. Yan yung mga compounded interest, yung simple interest, tapos yung mga present value, and then the future value. Okay, may mga questions ba? Yun lang naman sa akin for today. Siguro next time na tong next year na tong multiple cash flows. Nasa lang na tayo, compounded interest tsaka simple interest, future value at present value. Wala nang question?